makes a classic camera? Is it that it's good to shoot with? Is it a great design? Has it just got a big following? What is a cult camera? Is a cult camera a classic camera? Well, a camera which gets talked about a lot and for a long time had a big following on Instagram, and they even had a company that was formed from this camera. I'm talking about the Russian Lomo, the LC-A, Lomo Compact Automat. A Russian camera based on the Casina. Back in the 1980s, Casina had a nice little compact with zone focusing, and it produced quite saturated images. And the Russians apparently liked the idea of this camera, and they copied it. And they copied it into their own version. And the Lomo, which was, from my memory, Leningrad Optical Manufacturing Organization, they produced in 1984 this camera, and it was basically for the domestic market, a compact camera, but it began to get exported a little and began to get used in the rest, and so much so that a group of people in Vienna formed Lomo. I know I pronounced that wrongly, but this thing became a real cult camera and ended up being manufactured in China in about 2006. They don't make them anymore, but this is a camera that has a great following. Let's look at it. This currently has a film in, so I can't actually show you how to load it, but it's basic manual loading, and you wind on with this little lever, a wind on mechanism here, and you've got a counter at the top. It has to open the shutter, we have a little lever at the bottom, so I'm going to move that lever, and then it's, you see, open close. So nice way of protecting the lens, so the lens is well protected. And I like the fact that it's not automated, although there is a lever mechanism in there, it is manual. It's a semi-automatic compact in that we have focusing on the side here, and when we look through the viewfinder, we see a close-up of a head, a middle shot, a group of people, and a skyscraper and a tree. And so we have a zone system of focusing, and we've got a needle in the viewfinder, and the viewfinder, I must say, something I was really quite surprised about. The viewfinder is a really bright viewfinder. It's one of the brightest viewfinders I've seen, actually, and it's clear and it's quite large. What about exposure? Well, that is on the other side, this side, and we've either got apertures, which I assume is for flash, or we have this A here, which puts it on the automatic exposure mode, almost like a program mode. So, and that says a count on the top, wind on here. When you half press the shutter, you get a little red, you still get a little, there it is, a little red LED up in the corner, and that LED tells you that the camera is operational and the batteries are working. You do need 3 little LR44 batteries that go in the bottom here. You might need to check the foam. The rubber seals were known to leak a bit, and I find that they can deteriorate quite a lot. And the covering, the glue on the covering isn't always brilliant. The point is, how does it shoot? I've taken it out, got a film. Let's see how it turned out. When I took the camera out, I found that it was sharp, it was easy to use. I The viewfinder, as I said, was very bright. For some reason, I seem to not always get the camera level, as you can see in the landscape here. It didn't just happen once, it happened several times. I also found, you'll see a couple of marks on the negative. There's, in some parts of the film, I found it scratched, and I don't think it was a scratch when I was developing the film, because it's very rare for me to actually ever scratch a film, and these cameras did have, they were notorious for sometimes attacking film. This photo, as you can see, is fine. Again, sharp, clear, well exposed, absolutely fine. This is one I was talking about, this funny scratch in the middle. I got the same scratch in a number of areas, and it wasn't always in the same place, and you would have expected it to be in the same place, but it was sometimes in the same place, if that makes sense. Again, there's a little scratch if you look carefully on this photo, but again, the exposure is absolutely fine. I was expecting to get some vignetting, which I didn't actually get. This camera was quite famous for its vignetting and some colour effects, but this is using a black and white film, and in hindsight, it was a nice little camera to use. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.